Good afternoon, friends. It's Tuesday, April 28th, time for our daily reflection. This will be one of those different weeks again for me. I had such dreams and hopes for this week way back in February. Remember that? Seems like forever ago. But in February, our congregation held our annual meeting. And at that meeting, David Bartholomew and Karen Della were selected to be voting delegates for the 2020 Synod Assembly. We booked our rooms, we paid the registration fees, and I had begun planning my annual night before assembly baseball game outing. With our assembly being held in Fresno, the hotel was almost around the corner from the Fresno Grizzlies stadium. I would be driving to Fresno following preschool chapel to check into the hotel, settle in, and then walk over to the game. I was really getting excited to watch the Grizzlies play the Salt Lake City Bees, a team I've also watched over the years as I've stopped in Salt Lake City on the way back or forth to the Midwest and Luther Seminary. Hotel arranged, check. Money set aside for tickets, check. Baseball go bag ready and packed with a new scorebook, a couple of pencils, my baseball glove, and the River Cats hat. All ready to go, hanging on a hook in the office study at home. And then, well, you know the rest of the story. Life has been put on hold. With the first announcement of the stay-at-home directive, I had hoped that by mid-April, we would be able to leave the house and my trip would be possible. But then just a few days after that first stay-at-home order was issued, my hopes were shelved as the Synod announced that the assembly would be postponed until the fall. This was more serious for life. This was a more serious for life of the Synod than it was for me being able to attend another baseball game. A season which doesn't seem like it's going to happen either. At our Synod Assembly, which would have started this Friday, the major focus would be the election of a new bishop for the Synod. At last year's assembly, Bishop Mark announced that he would not be seeking another term. Thus, we would be electing someone new. I was anticipating this process with some mixed emotions. We've had 4 bishops serve our Sierra Pacific Synod since we began back in 1988. And the assemblies where elections have taken place are filled with their own sense of energy. Sometimes it's a sense of urgency as we move toward a Saturday afternoon with no white smoke coming up and wondering how many more ballots it would take before the white smoke would show up. Sometimes it was done rather quickly, usually when the sitting bishop had sought another term. This is a major event for the Synod, similar to a vote by a congregation to call a settled pastor, except that in the Synod, there are generally more than one candidate for the office, while congregations only get to deal with one candidate at a time. It would also be a major event for Bishop Mark, the culmination of 12 years in the office of the bishop, 12 years of serving and leading. And I wondered how the Synod Assembly planners were going to mark the event. How would we celebrate Bishop Mark's retirement from the office of the bishop of the Sierra Pacific Synod? I recall that we did something for the 3 predecessors as they left the office. With all of that now up in the air, how will we acknowledge the ministry of Bishop Mark? I wonder what he thinks. Is he disappointed in not having a retirement celebration? Did he not want one in the first place, so this works out just fine? I doubt that. But perhaps. I heard from a friend of another pastor friend of ours who was planning on retiring this summer. She was all set to announce it to her congregation in April, but has rethought the whole thing. According to my friend, she has decided to delay retiring until next year. When asked why, she offered that she wanted to be able to be around once the community came back to worship in person, but also admitted that after 25 years in the same congregation, she did want to celebrate with everyone all the ministry that they had done together. She wanted a party. I don't blame her. She knew that celebration would not happen this summer because no one could plan it. Not even Zoom, she said, could put it all together. Lives turned upside down. Hopes and dreams shattered. Hopes and dreams altered. We all know what that feels like. Each of us has been forced to re-examine our plans, and I suspect all of us have changed the plan because we are just so unsure of when we can return to the old normal. When will it end? I know it's hard to not be able to do what you want, not be able to go to the beach, not be able to work, not be able to go to baseball games, not be able to get your hair cut, colored, or styled, not be able to go to school, not be able to go to summer camp, not be able to go to a prom or a graduation, not be able to see friends. There are so many nots this time around. And yet, making those changes and living as we have these last 7 weeks has also produced life. We've sheltered so that others can survive. We followed the rules, and at least here in California, the death toll has been much lower than we first imagined. So let's be patient for some more weeks. Even if we are frustrated and disappointed, let's be patient and realize that we're all in the same storm together, and we can't wait for this to end. But it will. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Thanks for those of you who have sent in pictures. Thanks for those of you who resent pictures because somehow or other I missed them. I liked it that Joan walked around the worship space on Sunday morning during Facebook time, showing all of you being here in worship. Good to see. Come back again this Sunday, and we'll have some more. And remember, as we've been doing these last 7 weeks, wash those hands, stay at home if you're sick, love one another, practice that important social distancing, and of course, be very careful out there. See you again.